Bedtime Stories for Giants. If you like these stories and want to follow along on the Giants' adventures, please hit the subscribe button down below. Don't forget to like this video. I hope you enjoy the story.
Tell me a giant story.
Before we begin our exciting adventure tonight, I want you to lay still in your bed. Make sure you're in a comfortable position, not too hot and not too cold. While lying still, I want you to gently close your eyes. I want you to think about your feet. Picture them in your mind. Your feet are red. Now I want you to picture your legs. Knowing you are nice and relaxed, your legs turn orange. Picture your belly and your chest. As your breathing calms, your chest and belly become yellow. Now wiggle your fingers. Relax. Your fingers in your hands turn green. Moving to your arms, you relax them fully, and they're blue. And now your face, with your eyes gently closed, your face turns purple. With you as a rainbow, we're going to jump into our story about when our three cats, Nip, Liam Lemur, and Stripe, meet a rainbow cat.
Cats at night, cats at night, cats at night, cats at night.
The four giant children, Luna, the eldest, and Bo, Apple Peach Banana, and Ernie as the youngest, were sitting in the living room, petting their three cats, Nip, Stripe, and Liam Lemur. When Luna looked up and said, "Hey, have you noticed anything strange about our cats lately?" Bo kind of shrugged and said, "Not really." Luna said, "I haven't heard them purr in weeks. It's just not normal. Did we do something wrong? Are we not feeding them enough? Or giving them enough love?" Apple Peach Banana said, "Now that you mention it, I haven't heard them purr for weeks. That is strange." Bo said, "Me either. What is going on?" "I know. We have to put the cat camera on Nip and find out what they're up to at night." Apple Peach Banana and Ernie jumped up and down. "Yay! Woohoo! Cat camera!" Without missing a beat, Luna stood up, dug out the cat camera to make sure it had batteries, and secured it to Nip's collar. "There," Luna said. "It's all ready to go, so tonight at bedtime, we'll put the collars on the cats before we let them out." Putting the camera on the cat collar before they go out at night was one of the giant siblings' favorite things to do. They loved all the adventures the cats would go on at night. This way, they would always know what their cats were up to. That evening, just before the four giant siblings were going to go to bed, they attached the collar to Nip's neck with the camera secured and then clicked it on. "There," Luna said. "It's all set up now. Tomorrow, we'll know for sure, or at least have some clues, as to why our cats aren't purring anymore." Bo said, "The quicker we go to bed, the quicker morning will come." Then, from oldest to youngest, the four giant children marched off to bed. First Luna, then Bo, then Apple Peach Banana, then Ernie. They fell asleep quickly that night. And in the morning, Luna was the first to wake up. She ran to the door, expecting to find her three cats Nip, Stripe, and Liam Lemur, but she found no cats, none at all. She shrugged her shoulders and figured they'd be home shortly. Then Bo woke up. He checked the door. No cats. Then Apple, Peach, Banana, and Ernie woke up. Checked the door. No cats. Bo said, "I'm hungry. We might as well eat breakfast while we're waiting." So the 4 giant children ate giant stacks of pancakes for breakfast. Checked the door again. No cats. It wasn't until after lunchtime, when the 4 giant children were playing outside, that the 3 cats came home. They looked exhausted. Their fur was all roughed up. Luna petted Nip. "Oh, Nip, what did you get yourself into?" Then she gently removed his collar and collected the camera. Then she gathered everyone inside to watch the video to find out what those cats were up to overnight. They clicked the video on and excitedly watched to see what would happen. The first thing the giant children saw were their faces as they turned on the camera. But then next, they saw the cats walking down the mountain, through a valley, following a river, traveling through a forest, coming to a swamp. The 3 cats were walking through mucky mud. Then the 3 cats arrived at a broken down swamp shack. It looked kind of eerie, all broken down with the door hanging open and the windows broken. The cats didn't seem afraid at all. They walked right in. Sitting there on a velvet purple throne, holding a scepter that was lighting up at the end, was a cat. The cat didn't look like a cat the giant children had ever seen before. It didn't look like a barn cat, or a house cat, or even a stray cat. This cat was rainbow in color. All of its fur was different shades, from red to orange to yellow to green to blue to indigo and last to violet. It even had golden fur. Ernie shouted, "A rainbow cat!" "Shh, quiet," said Luna. She wanted to know what happened next. Next, the 3 giants' cats meowed a greeting to the rainbow cat. And the rainbow cat meowed a greeting back. Then the rainbow cat held up its light-up scepter and began writing letters with it in the air. Luna was able to translate what it said. She read along as the rainbow cat spelled different words out. She read, "All the cats in all the land have lost their purrs. No cats shall purr until we win back the purrs from the jealous dogs. You must first enter the wormhole at the bottom of the rainbow. Go through it. That is where you will find the dogs. The dogs are keeping our purrs in a jar. I'm not sure why they have waged such a war on us cats, but it is time for us to win them back. You 3 are the only 3 cats that have the ability to do this. I believe in you. Here, take these tokens to help you on your quest to win our cat purrs back." The rainbow cat held up his paw, handed Liam Lemur a sack. Liam Lemur grabbed the sack from the rainbow cat's paw and held it in his paw. Then the rainbow cat wrote more with his light-up scepter. "Do not fear. Go through the wormhole. You will find the rainbow on the other side of Crystal Lake. Oh, and don't open the sack until you get through the wormhole. We can't risk you losing any of those tokens. Liam Lemur, Nip, and Stripe all nodded their little cat heads, slowly turned around, and walked out of the broken down marsh shack where the rainbow cat lived. Once out, the three cats looked at each other, and Stripe nodded in the direction they should be traveling to find Crystal Lake and the rainbow and the wormhole. They walked and walked, and at this point, it was getting pretty dark outside. Luckily, cats have night vision, and it wasn't a problem for them. And luckily for the giant children, the camera also had night vision, so they could see clearly where they were headed. For a long while, all the giant children could see was the cats walking and walking through fields, through a forest, up hills and down hills, until they came to a perfectly circled lake. And the lake was the clearest lake they had ever seen. Above it, there was actually a lit-up rainbow in the sky. You'd think you wouldn't be able to see rainbows at night. But this rainbow must have been coming from the wormhole itself. Seeing the rainbow and the wormhole energized the cats. They began to move quicker and quicker until finally they were running right up to the wormhole. They came to a screeching halt and were able to stop themselves right before plummeting down into the wormhole. They looked at each other, all three cats nodding. Nip grabbed Stripe's paw, Stripe grabbed Liam Lemur's paw, and Liam Lemur grabbed Nip's paw. And they jumped right into the wormhole. The cats were swirling and swirling and swirling around and around. They were flipping upside down, the entire time holding tightly onto each other's paws, until they landed onto a soft surface. Looking around, the camera could see stars in the sky. These stars seemed brighter than the stars where the cats had come from. And there were trees. The trees had green bark and purple leaves, and the grass on the ground was red and pink. The cats looked at each other and rubbed their heads with their paws. Liam Lemur took out the sack the rainbow cat had given him. Now that they were in the wormhole, they could open it. He carefully untied the knot and opened it up to reveal 8 dog bones, 1 squeaky toy. The last thing they found in the sack were 3 tennis balls. Liam Lemur wrapped up the sack once more, tied it shut, threw it over his shoulder, and they began walking. They saw strange things, like a bridge that instead of going over the water, it went under the water. And there was a rock shaped like a T-bone steak. It had chew marks all over it. Finally, they came to a building. The building towered over the 3 cats. It was so high up in the air, and it wasn't made of glass or wood or metal. It was made of fabric, like a stuffed animal, but it was a stuffed tower? The doorway was open. The 3 cats walked inside reluctantly and bumped right into a big dog. Said Nip as Liam Lemur, without even thinking about it, whipped out his sack, pulled out a bone, and presented it to the dog. The dog bowed his head and pointed with his paw up the windy staircase. The 3 cats carefully, slowly walked up the staircase. They were starting to get tired. The staircase was very tall. Once they reached the top of the tower, they saw another dog standing there guard. Before the dog could rise to any attention, Liam Lemur pulled out another bone and handed it to the dog. The dog, in turn, pointed his paw through a doorway. The cats walked in and saw a dog lying on a doggy bed. Around the doggy bed lay 30 to 40 puppies, who began to get quite excited at the sight of 3 cats walking right into their home. The dog, laying in the doggy bed, stood up, held his paw up, grabbing his scepter with the other paw. The puppies surrounding him obeyed and laid back down on the ground where they had been. The 3 cats did some meowing to the dog with the scepter. The dog raised up his scepter and began spelling to the cats. Luna read, "We have stolen your purrs. Us dogs are sick and tired of being tied with you cats for number 1 pet. That is why we stole all your purrs." As the dog used his scepter to spell this out, he pointed with his other paw to a jar full of glittery magic and continued to write, "We stole your purrs and we put them in that jar. This way, all these puppies will be able to find homes because people won't want cats anymore. Without your purrs, you are ruined." Luna, Bo, Apple Peach Banana, and Ernie shook their heads no in disagreement. "We still love our cats even when they don't purr," Apple Peach Banana said. "Yeah, they're soft and furry," said Bo. Luna added, "I love when they warm you up from snuggles in the middle of winter." But none of that mattered, because the dog thought he was right. He thought that if he stole the purrs from all the cats in all the world, that dogs would be the number 1 pet. The cats had to think of something. They had to get that jar of purrs back. But there were puppies in the way. Liam Lemur reached into his sack, pulled out the 3 tennis balls. He handed one to Nip and one to Stripe. They knew exactly what to do. At the same time, the 3 cats threw the tennis balls across the room. The puppies couldn't resist. They got up from their places, ran over to fetch and fight over the 3 tennis balls. This opened up a pathway to get to the jar of purrs. Once there, they had to climb on top of each other. Liam Lemur at the bottom, Nip on top of him, and Stripe on the very tippy top. Stood on his back, 2 paws reached up, carefully grabbed the jar of purrs. He scrambled down, put it in the sack, threw out the remaining bones to distract the dog in charge, ran down the stairs to the bottom where they found the guard dog, who knew something was up. Liam Lemur grabbed the squeaky toy, squeaked it 3 times and threw it, distracting the guard dog away from the entrance. The 3 cats were off on their way back to the wormhole so they could get back to the world. They ran through the forests, they ran through the pink and purple grass, and finally arrived. The dogs were chasing after them the entire time. The wormhole was in a tree this time. Luckily, cats are expert tree climbers, unlike the dogs. The 3 cats scratched their way up to the wormhole and climbed inside. Spun around in circles backwards this time and made it back to the world that they knew and loved. They still had the jar tucked away in their sack. They brought it back to the rainbow cat to show him they had completed his quest. The rainbow cat opened the jar. Releasing the purrs out into the air. The purrs were sparkly rainbow colored. Some of them landed on Nip. Some of them landed on Liam Lemur. Some of them landed on Stripe. Some of them landed on the rainbow cat. But most of them went outside and went around the entire world until every cat and kitten got their own purrs back. With their purrs, the 3 cats that belonged to the giants headed back home. It was daylight hours now, and they were exhausted. That quest took every ounce of energy out of them. They made it back home, greeted their giants, and went to bed. They were too tired to show the giant children they had gotten their purrs back. They knew once they had gotten some sleep, the first thing they would do would be to purr for their giant owners. The end. Good night, giants.